So I've been called white mainly because of my choices in either food or my kind of sense of style. And I didn't really think of it as an offensive thing, but I also didn't take it very well because I am very proud of my culture. I come from a rich black history, and I feel like that really does kind of show who I am. And for people to question that when they clearly can see what I represent is kind of hurtful to me. And yeah.
In middle school, I've been called white because of my choice of music. And not only white, I've been called Oreo, which basically means like, I'm black on the outside and I'm white on the inside. And it's not that I'm not white. Just because of my choice of music, like it was punk rock, and I would listen to that a lot, and they're like, oh my gosh, like because I'm not listening to like what someone would typically listen to, like rap and all that, and it's just like that's not what I am, and I should not be called that. I am black, and that's what you should see me as.
First heard someone say that, I just looked at them crazy because you can't speak a color. Like I don't speak purple, you don't speak green, I speak English. It's just that I enunciate and pronounce my words correctly. So when I heard it, I honestly, at the time I thought of it as a compliment because I was just like, okay, I sound like a white person. White people are seen as superior compared to other races. But it's like now when I see it, I take it as an insult because I'm black and I can enunciate my words just as well as a white person, just as well as a Hispanic.
Yes, but the people who have told me are people of my own race who will sometimes tell me, oh, you speak like a white person, or like you act like you're white. Well, I was born here, but my mom, she's from Nicaragua, and my dad's family's Puerto Rican. Personally, I don't really care, but I know there are people who take offense to that because they're like, oh, they just like trying to say something bad about me, but I don't really care too much.
Depending on where I'm at, like depending on what part of like Maryland I'm in, some people will tell me that like I speak like more proper than usual, cause like I live in PG County, so like, and since I've been to school, like I've been going to school in Montgomery County my entire life. A lot of people like in my neighborhood, a lot of my friends from PG County, they tell me like, oh, like you talk like really white and stuff, and like you talk really proper. But then when I'm at school, like nobody really tells me anything because of like the environment and like who I'm surrounded by. Nobody really says anything about it until I go places like DC or PG County or different parts of like the South region where my accent or pronouncing really comes out. So
definitely a topic that I can certainly personally relate to. I came from a predominantly white area in which I grew up. My high school class was only about 100 students in my senior year, and I'd say there were about 10 of us who were African American. So going into college was the first time that I had that experience with what white sounds like, or being a black person who spoke in a manneristic or a mannerism that I guess reflected white people. So it's definitely happened before, and I think one instance that I can recall, I was definitely offended, but not necessarily because of who I am. I've always stayed true to that, but more so because of that type of mindset really reflects a deficit that we have about our own people or black culture. Like, what does it mean to talk black or talk white? And I think when we begin to define that based upon stereotypes and other judgments is really when it becomes a concern and reflects a very deficit mindset.
Yes, I'm told that I speak like a white person by African Americans and by white people. I think that's an insult. I don't think being educated or speaking the way I do makes me sound white. I think we associate whiteness with intelligence way more often than we should. I don't think that's true, and I take it as an insult. I don't think you should ever tell someone that they speak white, talk white.
Yes, I've heard that plenty of times. A lot of times when I get on the phone, I try to, I guess, switch it up because it's easy to like get business taken care of. People respond to you differently. It's never really upset me because when I hear that, I interpret that as not that I'm trying to be someone other than myself. I've realized how to play the game in America. So I don't want to expose anything that doesn't need to be exposed. I know how to talk properly. I know how to speak properly. I know how to make my subjects and verbs agree. I am an educated woman. My parents were teachers. My mother would definitely correct me if I said something that did not sound grammatically correct. And so I kind of take it as a compliment when someone says, like, you know, you speak white. Now, you don't ever hear it from white people because that's not something that they're ever going to be comfortable telling a black woman, but it's more so from your own people. Most of the time from ones that don't understand how to turn the switch on and then turn it off when you want to, then those are the ones that you hear, oh, you talk, you know, you talk like you white. Like, no, I'm just, first of all, I'm educated. And I know how, you know, sometimes if we just sound a little different. Hello, good morning, my name is Kelly Swain and I'm calling on behalf of my son Corey Swain, and he needs to make a dentist appointment. Do you guys have anything available? That goes a lot quicker than, yeah, hey, how y'all doing? Look, man, my son need to come to the dentist. Y'all got something available? Like, it helps to get the process moving. And I know how to play the game in America as a black woman. So I take it as a compliment because I'm educated. And I still got a little bit of that hood in me.
Yeah, I have been told that in the past. Like the first couple times I was kind of offended because like I don't see myself as white because both my parents are Hispanic, so when the first couple times it kind of hurt my feelings, but then I got used to it, which is probably not the right way to deal with it. But
yeah, I've been told that like many times. People say that I talk too proper, or I'm always like too girly about how I speak, and like it's kind of an insult because I don't know how you want me to speak.
I have been told that I speak like a white person. I'm from New York originally, so I taught in Charlotte, North Carolina in a predominantly urban, Black and Hispanic urban high school. And the first time my students, I introduced myself, there were some boys that said, man, Miss Pope, you talk like you're white and you're black. That was the first time I heard that. And I'm like, okay, am I the first person you met from New York? And a lot of them said yes. So in New York, I guess in their eyes, the way I pronounced certain things was just too proper for them. But eventually they came around to say, oh, Miss Pope, she's cool, that's just the way she talks. But when I'm in New York, nobody tells me that I talk white. So it's an eye-opener for me. I'm in the South, I'm in a predominantly Black and Hispanic area, teaching high school mathematics, and here you're telling me that I talk white. That was eye-opening for me. It was a shock to my system. I did take it as an insult, like, because I've never heard that from anybody before, anybody. But then I had to remember I'm in the South, so maybe they're used to their African American teachers talking a certain way. And here I am, an African American from New York, so that was a different, they say you sound like somebody from TV, which I didn't think I did, but according to them, I did.
Yeah, people have definitely told me that.
Yes, for sure. It's like in higher classes, people would be like, wow, you talk like you're white, because I was with other white kids in those classes, and I guess like since I knew how to talk, they associated me with being white instead of being black.
I think for me there's been like two instances. One is like the music I listen to, and the other is like the way I dress. So people often like look at me and people judge you based on what you look like. So they're like, oh, she acts white, or she's taking certain classes, she's blah blah blah, she hangs out with certain people. And then the other instance is when, because I'm a huge fan of music, so when I listen to music, I listen to all genres. And some people are like, oh, that's white music, why do you listen to that? Ignorance, I don't really take it any way, I kind of shrug it off. Yeah.
I see that as an insult, to me at least, because like, I mean, even though people would take it as a compliment because like they're complimenting you for like how you talk, it's still offensive because I'm obviously black on the outside, and people are saying that I'm acting white or I sound white, so, or I am white.
I haven't been told that I speak like a white girl, but I tend to switch my voice around depending in the setting that I'm in. So like if I'm around my friends, I'll talk normally or like this, so that's why nobody tells me, because when I'm in a comfortable area, I talk the way I do. But if I'm in like at a job interview or in a place where there's people that are older than me, higher positions, then I'll change my voice and I'll sound like this, like, hello, I'm here for my interview. That's definitely an insult because first of all, I'm not white, and just because I may sound proper does not mean that that's the only color that you should associate it with, because there are many colored people that are educated and speak properly, and it doesn't have to just be white people.